Hi everyone. Sorry about that. I did not mean to cut off. How ironic that Mercury is leaving us now and apparently going out kicking and screaming because I have not had a technical issue like that in quite a while, and I had some issues uploading part one. I think it's okay. It was showing like a blank screen um, instead of a thumbnail when I uploaded it, and but I just pushed play and it worked. So hopefully it's okay. So I apologize. I'm going to do just a very short part two to wrap this up since we got cut off. I was starting to pull cards from the Energy Oracle, and um, the irony is we had hostilities come out and we had door to personal healing and happiness. So you can see this masculine holding up a sword, and we've got hostilities again, and then door to personal healing and happiness here. So I think this is just beautiful and goes along with what I was just saying. I know in some parts I was kind of rambling, and again, I apologize. Just the day job is absolutely draining me, and like I said, I got up at 4:30 today, so hopefully I wasn't rambling too much, but I think the gist of the message that was coming through for most of you, especially the feminine gender of this dynamic, I think it's likely with Mercury going direct, you may be getting some form of communication from the masculine, and it may not be what you ultimately want, right? They're not necessarily going to be ready to commit to you, to even give you the time that you're looking for, even to just start up something slowly. It might just be some flirtation. It might be some, hey, how are you? And then they are hot and cold, or they don't make plans. So I think what I'm getting a sense of here is it's about, the fact, not only this divine soul counterpart, right, but I think in your life in general, this is going to be mirroring to you where you have been making everyone else a priority but yourself, where you have just given and given and given your time, given your money, given your energy, given resources, just over and over, and a lot of times without even being asked to do so, right? It's just because as an empath, that's what you want to do. You want to help people. But it's, I think, a clear wake up here that things are out of balance, right? So if that's being shown to you, you might be tested, right now by your divine counterpart as far as setting that boundary. And it's got so many lessons intertwined in it, right? It's about the boundaries. It's about priorities, making yourself a priority. And if they're not making you a priority, you shouldn't make them a priority. And it's also about fear, letting go of attachment, letting go of fear, because it's like if somebody, just because this is a person that you want to be with, you don't accept crumbs from them. And in your heart that whatever the greatest good is what the outcome is going to be it with them or be it with someone else that is brought in for you. So you don't have that fear of, okay, well, if I turn them down this time because this really isn't convenient for me, but hey, can we see each other tomorrow instead? And if they say no, you've got to stand your ground. If that time is not convenient for you, you can't be afraid that you might not hear from them for weeks, or, well, you might not, but you know what? It's important to set that boundary. As I was looking through one of the decks, one of these Mystic Moon Oracles, it's called the Mystic Moon Oracle. I was trying to remember, I was trying to figure out, what decks maybe I want to do just to close this out. And I was looking through them just because I don't use it that often. And this card, absolutely, it literally like flew out. And I just laughed because it was so profound and so on point with exactly what we're talking about, self-worth. And look at the sky, how we've been seeing this sky a lot lately around here in Ohio. These beautiful sunsets. You've got this pink and this blue, and there's this merging of into purple and the light. And it's just this, I'm free. And I'm getting that, it's this time to free yourself from anybody, holding you back, right? That feeling of just being weighed down by giving and giving and giving, and in some cases being taken advantage of, in some cases just not focusing on the things that you're supposed to be focusing on your path. So that's really my big takeaway. There were a couple of other decks that I wanted to pull from. I think I even mentioned, this is where I'm like losing it, guys. The Untold Truths of the Heart Oracle by Aqua Moonlight. I know with the masculine we had, some things come out. I was going to do a clarifier. I think I'd intended to do a clarifier on what exactly is being deceived here, as far as we said, it's his feelings, it's the things he's got his defenses up. I guess let's see, what is not coming to light at this point. We also, if you remember for the feminine, had the High Priestess in reverse, which to me is kind of like, the High Priestess is about kind of secrets, she can be, but if she's in reverse, maybe it's this truth that's going to come out once the feminines set these boundaries, right? Stand up for themselves, set boundaries, and that achieves more balance in the connection. So let's see what's going to come out. That's interesting. I think this, we've got shattered energy, damaged, brokenhearted, destroyed. I think this could lead to some triggering for both sides if there is some sort of a boundary set. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I think it's maybe necessary to trigger up some of these things that subconsciously need to come up for healing, and it's going to be potentially very difficult, because if this is a person that you love, you truly love, and you want to be with them, and in many of our cases, right, this might be a dynamic that's been going on for years, and as the universe has orchestrated it for many of the feminines, you haven't really been allowed to have a physical connection with anyone else. Anytime you've tried, you've had all kinds of sabotage and all kinds of blocks put up to that, to where you're forced into celibacy, you're forced into standing on your own and being happy on your own and finding yourself alone. So to have the opportunity to potentially have that physical connection that you really don't know what that's like anymore, right? Because it's been so long. And then to have to stand up for yourself and say, no, this is not convenient for me, when that's what maybe you want more than anything in the world, is to feel their arms around you. That's absolutely shattering. And it might be very hard, but at the same time, it's necessary. It's necessary to start fresh and break this cycle, these patterns where your self-worth, it's like, what is that saying about you and your boundaries? If you're willing to accept them, you can maybe gauge their intentions before you even do that. You can just say, what are your intentions right now? Are you just wanting to get together like the once every 3 month thing, or are you wanting to start dating me? Because if you're not in that same mindset as me, and I think it might shatter their world, because they're used to being able to get away with giving crumbs and giving that little bit of something to just keep the connection sort of there. They're not ready, but if they just keep her waiting and keep her kind of there, and she's always there anytime they come around, no matter what they're giving, then they know that they don't have to put forth more. So that's why what I'm getting strongly is that this boundary, this could become an issue for you guys. Some of us, have already started setting the boundaries energetically. And I think too, if you're setting the boundaries within other dynamics in your life, so to speak, if you've got friends or family or work situations that have been testing you and draining you and taking, away from yourself, and you've started to set those boundaries, perhaps this won't be so extreme for you, because, again, this is mirroring back what you need to be doing in your own life. But I'm just sensing that there could be some of that coming in. There could be some kind of fast communication. I'm getting whatever's going to happen is going to kind of happen fast and furiously. And it's going to be an important development before the 12/12 gateway and to close out the end of the year. And I think if you think about it, it's kind of symbolic to close out what's been one hell of a year, right? To think about where you were a year ago, to think about where you were when you started the year, especially the divine, the feminines, the feminine gender in this connection, the chasers, so to speak, that if you were able to shift your power to the sense no matter how badly you want to see this person, that you're not willing to accept anything less than what you know you deserve. And to do it with love, not to do it with spite, not to do it with, to just, hey, if however you need to set the boundary energetically. But there might have to be some of that. There may be a test that you have to turn them down or propose something else instead of just bending over backwards to make them a priority. Because let's face it, this is about your self-worth. This is about you opening your own door to personal healing and happiness. It's about you taking care of you. Because if you don't love yourself, if you're not giving yourself that, thinking about it this way, I mean, would you want to treat somebody that you loved the way that some of us have been treated in these dynamics? And many of us would not have put up with that behavior all this time if it wasn't for being on this mission and on, knowing that this was a soul bond. And so many times, I tried to leave. They make the bond unbreakable for a reason, because you signed up for this, and they knew how hard it would be. That's why it's unbreakable. So many times out of spite, I tried to just go do stupid things. But then I really started, bringing in other connections that I felt bonded with, and I was ready and felt like I wanted to start dating. I was ready to move on from this. But it's because what this is trying to show me, and others in this dynamic, is there are areas where you're not loving yourself. If someone keeps treating you this way as your mirrored soul, they're trying to show you where you aren't setting boundaries in other areas of your life. So anyway, I know I kind of rambled again there, guys. So I hope this helped. I don't think overall, though, this is going to be a challenging month. I think many of us that kind of sense this is coming, you just feel this strength, and you just know. And the Sag energy, I think, will give you the confidence to know at what point, you do need to set that boundary, and that you will do it with love, and then you will not doubt your soul's direction, and knowing that it's going to be okay. I'm setting this boundary, and this can't be messed up. But I feel like there's an urgency again to focus on you. You're loving yourself, purifying your body, cleaning your home, purifying, detoxing, all of those things, getting rid of just anything that's unhealthy and dragging you down. We're really being called to raise our vibration. So I hope this helped. And again, I apologize for rambling, guys, but there's a lot going on, and I think it's going to be a really exciting, explosive closeout to the year. Thanks.